What is up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? I got Panda over here. She's a little camera shy. Panda's hanging out with me today. Um, so yeah, man, this dude still out there. Like, what is happening? Why is this dude still out there? Um, and I hope everybody caught Dad Challenge podcast live last night. It was good. I enjoyed it. And if you're not subscribed to him, make sure you are. I know a lot of you came here from there. So again, thank you for that. So what we're gonna do before we rip into Brian Dirty Douchey Laundrie, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over that press conference that took place either today or yesterday. I don't even know. I got my days all mixed up. But yeah, there's a press conference here with the Schmidts and the Petitos, and I think it's important that we share their feelings, because after all, they are the ones that are suffering the most out of all of this, and we need to. I feel that the responsible thing to do is to show them as much possible respect as we can. So give me 1 second here. Now this is about 20 minutes long, guys, so
parent played out before our eyes. That nightmare became a reality when the Grand Teton search and rescue team located their beautiful daughter. During that time, they had an outpouring of love and affection and sympathy from not just their family and friends, but from the law enforcement community, the press, and from people around the world. And for that, they thank you. They've been given the time and the space to grieve this awful loss. And we ask that you continue to respect their privacy and give them the space and time.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're so focused on the location or whereabouts of Brian Dirty Douchey Laundrie. And you know, I'm happy to do that. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to do that. I love that the people are protesting outside the Laundrie's house. I love that because that's what people should be doing. Like I said before, if they're going to exercise their Fifth Amendment right, then we have every right to exercise our First Amendment right in protest of it.
To go through this difficult process. Gabby Petito was a beautiful woman. Her infectious smile and love of life made people gravitate to her. Gabby Petito loved life, loved people, and loved experiences. She was the bright light in everyone's life that knew her. Gabby's family does not want that light to dim, and they want to make some good from this awful tragedy. That's why they're starting the Gabby Petito Foundation. I'm joined today
The Gabby
with Joe
Petito
and Tara
Foundation.
Petito,
Good for them.
with Jim and Nicole Schmidt, and close friend Gary Ryder. They're going to make some statements, and after that, we're going to take some questions. Next. No?
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that.
Now, keep in mind, this is Gabby's stepdad, and he went all the way out to Wyoming to help with the search. So this guy has all my respect, man.
We encountered out west in Wyoming, all of the law enforcement agencies out there and across the country for doing an amazing job with locating Gabby. Especially want to thank the Teton County Search and Rescue Team, who is a all-volunteer agency that come together. They are highly trained, and they were a part of that mission to find Gabby, and they did an unbelievable job. We're so grateful for everybody out there. They were second to none. They were unbelievable, and we are forever grateful for that. And everybody back home who helped us as well. It was amazing that we were able to get her. We're just happy to have her.
How you doing? I'd actually like to thank all you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the media, press, especially the people that are behind the camera. All right, they don't get enough credit for what it is that they do, and so I do appreciate all them. Social media has been amazing.
Holla.
So I just like to thank everyone, for that. I do. It is greatly appreciated. That was very helpful in bringing our daughter home. So thank you very much.
I don't think we can thank everybody enough. I really want to thank the Aware Foundation and We Help the Missing for putting her poster out there. It reached over 2 million people within 48 hours. It's all over the world. And I especially want to thank Detective Tracy Barry of the 5th Precinct here in Patchogue. Because without her, we don't know when this would have even happened. She got the ball rolling. She's my angel, and I thank her the most. Thank you.
At this time, we'll be taking questions.
So sad for this family.
The hashtag Justice for Gabby has been trending. You mentioned how much social media has been helpful in locating her and in this investigation. What does Justice for Gabby look like from here?
Do we answer that? Yeah. Justice for Gabby is that we see justice for her homicide. The FBI has classified her death a homicide. They are the premier agency in the country. They're investigating her death, and we believe through their investigation, we will have justice for Gabby.
Rick,
Yes.
we haven't heard from the Laundrie family. We haven't been able to hear much from the FBI. They can't share a lot with us about Brian's whereabouts. Is there anything that you can tell us about the efforts to find him, what the family thinks about where he might be, and the Laundrie family silence?
Again, for the Laundrie's silence, the Laundries did not help us find Gabby. They're sure is not going to help us find Brian. For Brian, we're asking you to turn yourself in to the FBI or the nearest law enforcement agency.
Yesterday, the Laundrie family released a statement saying that Mr. and Mrs. Laundrie are not helping Brian get away and hide. Do you believe?
That's for the FBI to investigate. I believe
Good answer.
that they're the preeminent law enforcement organization in this country, and I know they're investigating all avenues of this case.
Rick, can you, Trevor from ABC, you touched on trusting the FBI here. Does it bother the family at all that Brian Laundrie's still not named as a suspect in Gabby's disappearance?
The parents are 100% happy with the FBI. They've been with us at every single step of the way, and we know that they will bring justice for Gabby.
Foundation for Gabby from CNN. Can you or the family talk at all about or describe what kind of contact you've had with the Laundrie family since early September, and what your previous relationship was like with that family while Gabby and Brian Laundrie were dating? Any sort of insight you can give us into those contacts?
We're not going to talk about the relationship between the Petito, the Schmidt, and the Laundrie family. The Petito and Schmidt family have spoken with the FBI, and they requested that we don't discuss any relationship between Gabby, between Brian, or between the three families.
Can you
Can
describe
you tell us
about
the foundation?
Yes.
You don't want her light to go dim. So what will the foundation do to keep that the light shining?
Let me address a comment real quick here. Um, Tony Strickland says, I wish they would keep the focus on Gabby and not the numbers. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. And I feel you. I really do. But the thing is Brian is the focus. Because you have to understand, Gabby's no longer missing. Gabby's no longer missing. The only thing that is missing at this point is justice for her homicide. So that's why the focus right now is mostly on Brian Laundrie. That's why. Because now this family needs him found in order to reach closure, at least to some degree. So it's extremely important that the focus be on Brian Douchey Laundrie right now because he's on the run. He's hiding.
We're just hoping that through our tragedy with losing Gabby, that in the future that some good can come out of it, that we can help other people that may be in a similar situation, reach out to these other organizations that do similar things and find out what's missing. You know, what can we do to fill that void? What can we do to help people? Just from the Aware Foundation alone and reaching 2 million people, they told us that other law enforcement agencies are now starting to look back at other missing persons cases and starting to reinvestigate them and look into them. And we're just hopeful that we're able to help people in the future, you know, just try to get through something similar.
In the vein of not letting the light grow dim, I noticed Mom and Dad have some new tattoos that resemble that of Gabby. Would you be willing to tell us about that?
Yeah, these were tattoos that Gabby designed herself. She was an artist, and
I wanted to have her with me all the time.
so we'll
I feel it. This helps.
we'll
that.
put them. We'll.
Can you all show us?
No.
Everybody.
It's all right, we do. Let it be. Let it be.
Believe.
Yeah, sure.
And you said Gabby designed hers.
Gabby drew this one.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the end all, right? We need positive stuff to come from the tragedy that happened. All right. We can't let her name be taken in vain. We need positive stuff. All right. So anything that we can do to bring that up and help people, that's what we want to do.
Joe, do you think Brian's still alive?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Yes.
Backwards to say from music, just about the community coming together. I mean, we've been at the memorial almost every day, and you have people coming from all over Long Island, from Montauk to the West End.
Now, somebody mentioned about how classy this family is. Keep in mind, I mean, I have to agree with that completely because so far, none of these people are saying anything negative about the Laundrie family. None of them are. Not even the attorney. They're just saying positive things about the FBI. They're trying to keep Gabby's memory alive. They're using this press conference to keep Gabby's memory alive. And I think that that's extremely commendable. But you know what I mean? Like, I got no problem trash talking this dude or his family, so I'll do it for him. You know what I mean? Nobody said I got to be classy. So I got no problem putting this dude on Front Street.
They all say they felt such a connection to Gabby. Like somebody said, she reminds them of her son and things like that. What does that mean to you? That she's just drawn emotion from so many people over the country. I mean, I'm sure in your Blue Point community, the candles being lit. Can you just step up and possibly respond to that outpouring and what it's meant to you?
I don't know how to respond to that. I just hope that people are inspired by her. It's hard to put into words, but it means a lot to me that she's touched so many lives already, and this is only 2 weeks into it, and I'm so proud of her for doing this.
And it's nice for a change in the real crime community, because yeah, like Josh yesterday in his stream, he was talking about he doesn't do true crime, so he kept calling it real crime. And you know what? I'm gonna keep calling it real crime. I'm gonna keep doing that because true crime has just become a cliche And people like this are being viewed as like characters in some movie, and they're not getting any respect. So, you know what I mean? But these folks actually are. Like right now, what's going on with how people are looking at this family and treating this family is the only thing that I'm proud of being an American right now. Because this whole situation is crazy. The whole country has gone crazy. But Margot, yeah, I know. Yeah. And I was deleting comments when people were calling it crime. We're changing the narrative, bro. It's real crime. Okay, it's real crime from now on. Because I don't like cliches. So, but it's nice. It's nice to be watching a press conference with a victim's family that we don't have to sit here and pick apart whether or not we think that they're lying or telling the truth or if they're being genuine or ingenuine. This is a family that simply deserves respect and nothing else. That's it. That's it. And so as tragic as it is and how sad it is that we have to see this family suffer like this, I'm relieved that that social media is not in a position right now where everybody is tearing these people apart. They get to grieve in peace, and I think that that's very I think that is a relief, regardless of how tragic the entire situation is.
Yes, and we're gonna keep it going. Like you said, keep the light going and help a lot of people if we can.
And will the foundation just be for missing children or missing adults as well? I think it said children, but I didn't know.
We're still working out, this has only been a few days, so we're still working that out. We want to help in any way we can. I just want to add to the last question that we've received letters, emails, cards from all over the world.
And I want to make it clear, Gabby will not rest in peace until this fool is found. Anybody who wants Gabby to rest in peace, then what that depends on, as far as my beliefs go, what that depends on is this douche canoe turning himself in and doing what is the right thing to do, or someone actually catching him. And what's funny is it seems like Dog is on the case. It seems like Dog, even though I talked about this the other night, but he got a tip. We're gonna go over some of that, and he seems to, he seems to be getting somewhere. So don't go trashing the Dog, man, because he might crack this thing.
Australia, from Europe. We had people from Italy. We had people at the funeral that came from as far away as Texas, as Florida, as California. So people from all over the country have called and sent their well wishes.
Can you confirm that the fraudulent activity that Brian's been charged with, was that Gabby's car that he was using?
That's something you're going to have to talk to the FBI about. That I know that they have unsealed an indictment, so I believe they would be the best agency to deal with that.
And just a question for Joe. Joe, you mentioned social media. Can you tell me, do you feel obviously that the outpouring of people all across the world with tips coming in, that social media helped find Gabby? And how do you feel knowing that she was someone who wanted, she was in social media, the videos she made, everything else?
I don't want to dismiss the ridiculously hard work that the FBI and law enforcement all around did, but social media has been amazing and very influential. And to be honest, it should continue for other people too. This same type of heightened awareness should be continued for everyone. And that goes for you all too.
Joe, your words at the memorial service were very touching to many people. And I'm wondering if you've heard from people who heard your words about being inspired by Gabby's life and also leaving bad relationships.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Again, we've received messages from individuals on many issues since we started the foundation, and there are some that were really personal, and at this point, we're not going to get into that.
Has the family spoken with Jen Bethune, the woman who took the video of the dam?
We've spoken with numerous people that gave tips to the FBI and to us.
So they have spoken with Jen Bethune?
I believe they have.
What do you make of people like Dog the Bounty Hunter and John Walsh getting involved in looking for Brian Laundrie?
Again, we, just like we ask for help to look from everyone, that if they see Brian Laundrie or any information on that, we're asking that they call the local law enforcement or the FBI. We welcome everybody's help to find him. And if you have any information, we're asking that you call the FBI tip line or your local police department. So we'll take help from everybody.
What's the plans for the meetings? Has FBI Denver contacted you about timing or when that might be back? Will somebody
Do you
go
want
out
to
there?
talk about it? You want to talk about it? I didn't. Do you want to do it?
I'll talk about it. So part of our goal was we wanted to bring her home as quickly as possible, but it's important for the FBI, Teton County Sheriff's, the Teton County Coroner's Office to hold on to her for as long as they need. We want to make sure that no matter what, we do not impede their investigation in any way. We wanted her home immediately, but we understand their position, and we know that she's safe with them, and as long as she's with them. And it was a very tough decision to have to make to come home, but we felt it was important to come home so we could mourn her and celebrate her life and be with our family and friends. And when they're ready to release her, we will be bringing her home.
Have you gotten any of her things back from Florida?
Not yet.
Jim and Joe, you guys made a plea to the world, the country, the world, to help lead you to Gabby and help you find Gabby. Do you have a similar plea for the world to help you find Lauren?
I want to help. I want to ask everyone to help all of the people that are missing and need help. And like I said before, it's on all of you, everyone that's in this room, to do that.
Yep.
And if you don't do that for other people that are missing, that's a shame. Because it's not just Gabby that deserves that. So
Yeah, so
look to yourselves.
He's basically
on why not that's not being done.
Yep, exactly. And he's basically making the point. This is the point ever since I started covering real crime. I would discuss and say that I wish these things would get more mainstream media attention. The kind of mainstream media attention that Gabby's case is getting now. So I wish this was happening with the Gannon Stock case at the time. Yeah. So I so far this guy Joe, Gabby's dad, he's been just hitting the nail on the head on how to handle this, and I love that. And I love that he's keeping that focus, and he's trying to use this situation, this tragic situation. He's not making it about himself. He's not making it about his family. He's not even making it about Gabby. He's making it about a problem that we have that needs more awareness.
And with Brian, that's our focus is still on mourning Gabby and honoring Gabby. The FBI is doing everything they can, and we have our full faith in them.
Can you say anything about what your understanding is of what was going on between September 1st and September 11th? Is this something that you're able to talk about?
No, we're not going to comment on that. That's part of the investigation at this point.
Can we get a shot of the four parents again with your tattoos just all together? Oh, yeah, sure. Maybe.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
That's all right. In front of the mics, there's a lot of wires.
I know.
You guys met Joe?
When did you have?
Okay, so they got
We all had
some.
it done last night.
they all got some ink done here in honor of Gabby, which I heard them mention earlier. And some of these designs here, they were saying earlier that it was Gabby who designed this. These were her original designs. So I think that's a very, very beautiful way to commemorate her.
Like we said, we've always co-parented Gabby together, and that's not going to stop now. We're in this together.
And do three of them say let it be, and then mom's verse says.
Mom has let it be as well.
And I'm sorry, is that Gabby's handwriting? Is it the other flower? Or is it just?
This is the way she had it written.
That's the way she had it on her arm. Okay.
Yeah. So we all
She
did.
has the same tattoo.
Okay, all right.
The one on your arm.
I don't think it's not that. You know, I wouldn't read too deep into that. If I'm being honest, you're asking what is the connection with the Schmitz and the Laundries that they are keeping quiet about. Well, I mean, I think they're just trying to not shift the focus and turn this into some drama thing. You know, this is them just trying to keep the focus on getting justice for their daughter. So I think that's all that is. I wouldn't read too deep into that and think that there's some sort of, big secret between these families. That's actually what I think they're just trying to avoid by not talking about them.
Yeah. I got that last night too.
Oh, that's on the bandage on.
Oh, that's nice.
Guy took mine off, sorry.
Very sorry.
Thank you. Listen, you guys have been great, and I appreciate every one of you. And all the people, like I said, that are behind the cameras that don't get the credit. You guys were instrumental, but everyone deserves the same type of awareness and the same type of stuff. So, just come back. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We're good? We're good.
What's next?
Guys, I apologize.
Just have one question over here. What's next?
What's We don't stop.
Yeah, we don't stop, remembering Gabby and keeping her name out there and fighting for other people out there like her. She's always with us every day. She's giving us signs. It's difficult. We've been talking. We don't,
Interesting.
like, where do you go from here? How do you go back to normal, whatever normal may be from here on out? But we have each other. We're a big family. We have a huge support network, and we're just going to keep pushing forward and living every day and loving every day, because that's what Gabby did, and that's what we need to do.
A lot of people would be very angry right now. Can you talk about?
Sit down, Brendan Manning.
Are you at
Sit
some level?
your ass down.
Not happening yet?
We go through our bouts. It's an emotional roller coaster. There's ups and downs. Days that were full of pain and grief. Sometimes angry, but stop. You take a breath. Remember Gabby and all the great times we had with her, all the good memories, and all the good things we want to do in her name in the future. And that's what picks you up. That's what carries you through, and hopefully will keep us going from here on out.
And Jim, what kind of signs has she been giving you? Can you step up a little bit? Thanks.
We actually got behind a car yesterday, and there was a Wyoming sticker, and the letters were GBZ.
Gabs.
So Gabs. She's with us. She's with us.
She's with us.
All right.
She's with
I think-
us.
I think we're-
The signs are there. You just have to look for them.
Thank you
you
all.
all so much.
Appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
All right, that's it, folks. Pure class. Pure class coming from that family, man. So we're also gonna go over that when John Walsh talked to Ashley Banfield. I don't know how many people saw that, but we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to watch that, and we're going to talk about that. So, All right. All right. So, I mean, this is long, man.
Welcome to
This is
Banfield.
like 41
Manhunt
minutes
for
long.
Brian Laundrie. It's
But
on land, in the
John
water,
Walsh is
from
fired
the air,
up, dude.
and in cyberspace. 75 officers from more than 16 agencies were
Hold on,
back
I'm just going to try
at
to
it
get
again,
to that.
out in that alligator-infested swamp in Northport, Florida, trying everything to find Gabby Petito's fugitive fiance. Officers walking the grounds, beating the bushes. You do not want our next guest hot on your heels.
You sure
That's why
don't.
it is terrible news for Brian Laundrie.
People with ADHD save
Man,
10
come on.
hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no, by all means, go ahead, skip the ad, save a few
Isn't it
seconds.
funny that like people with ADHD
Laundrie.
and like I don't know. Never mind.
That John Walsh has set his sights on him. John, it's great to see you again. You had a show on Wednesday night on Investigation Discovery. It's In Pursuit with John Walsh. You covered this story, and lo and behold, as is per usual for John Walsh, the tips start pouring in. Tell me how
Dude's
it's
all
going.
business.
How
Look at his
many
face.
and how good are they?
I will. I'll tell you, Ashley, it was amazing, but I got to say one thing to all the viewers in that area. Swatting is against the law. It's dangerous. People get killed. Whoever called 911 to send the cops there because they heard a gunshot, they're going to trace your phone. They're going to go back to you and you're going to do some time.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
horrible thing,
Swatting.
right?
Kidding, right?
Awful.
Terrible.
Don't do that.
Just terrible.
Let me give you an update. We had at least
It's nice to
3
hear John
times
Walsh speak
more
up
phone
about
calls
swatting.
than we've had on any fugitive. This is the 3rd season of In Pursuit. We've caught 26 guys. We've recovered 8 missing kids. So people are watching the show. It's amazing. And many people said they saw you and I together for a couple nights and said, you know, I watched and I got off the couch and I'm looking at this list here. We got about 500 tips. And from everywhere, people thought that they'd spotted him in Portugal. You know, the world's a smaller place, and I've caught the 1,422 guys I caught. They were, some of them I caught in the craziest places, 45 countries. So people texted us or called in from all over Portugal, all over. People are talking about Cuba, but the good tips, 15 tips we had was what I had said, that the dirty laundry mom and dad, and the Johnny Cochran lawyer that you talk about, Stephen Bertolino, who I hope he knows he's going to burn in hell for hiding all this stuff and giving all kinds of red herring tips to the police. He's the mouthpiece. And I know about client privilege and Fifth Amendment. I've been doing this for a whole long time, but boy, he knows a lot that he's not talking about. But anyways, many of the tips were my theory that they somehow, you know, when he got home from the trip and he didn't say anything to anybody for 10 days, this is not, and I know your lawyers are nervous, this is John Walsh's opinion, has been doing this and caught 1,422 of uncatchable guys that the cops could never catch. So I got a little bit of experience, but when he got home, they scrubbed the van, he and his family, the dirty laundries, and I'm sure the FBI didn't find anything in the house. And during that time, they planned how to get him out. So Daddy bought a camper top, a little white camper top. It's still in the driveway. And the neighbors, who really only said it the other day, I was waiting in line on Fox News to talk to Martha McCallum, and the neighbors walk out and say, you know, we were so surprised that, you know, about 3 days before Gabby's parents filed the missing persons report, 3 or 4 days, they didn't remember when it was exactly, that Brian and the father put the camper top on the red pickup truck, packed
and off they went.
Off
they went. Strangely enough, on September 11th, the day that, you know, Gabby was reported missing. John, let me ask you something real interesting about a development today. Brian Enton just reported that this woman drove 60 miles to the Laundrie house. She doesn't know them. She didn't know Brian. She didn't know Gabby, but she came to knock that stake with those pictures of Gabby saying, I once lived here. And I think what's so critical about this, how this ties to you, is that these are people who care. They're the people who pick up the phone and they call you. They're the people who check their Ring cameras. They're the people who check their Drive cameras. And are
Right.
you getting people like that who just feel an emotional connection to the story?
Huge. We haven't had this much attention since Elizabeth Smart. And when the FBI
Wow.
gave up and told the Smarts that she was dead in the desert and they should have a memorial, I never gave up. I profiled her 17 times, and a couple in Sandy, Utah spotted her with the description I gave of the guy.
And she
that took
turned
her.
out to be
But it
alive.
is, people. So I want to finish
She
about the
was
leads.
recovered.
I believe
She escaped,
that
I think.
when they get left off in the pickup truck, they went northwest over the panhandle of Florida. And then Steve Berlino gets in it on Tuesday.
All right, so I'm going
and
to cut towards
says
the
he's
end
out in the
here
desert
because this
and
is where.
I mean,
hold on.
Or at the gas station or wherever he might be. If you had a chance to say something to Brian
Here we go.
Laundrie, what would you tell him?
I would say, turn yourself in. Do two things, Brian. Turn yourself in, but you won't. You're a coward. Now you're facing the death penalty.
Yeah.
You brutalized this girl. You're a real big guy. You 90-pound woman. You brutalized her, broke everybody's heart.
Real tough
so either
guy.
turn yourself in before the cops shoot it out and kill you when they catch you, and spare this family the torture, or kill yourself. Do the right thing, Brian. In your whole life, you've never done anything brave. You're just a coward. So go out
Your
there in
whole
the
life,
woods
bro.
somewhere, but at least so we know where your body is, so the dirty laundry mom and dad can bury you somewhere. Because I know what
Oh
it's
my
like
God,
not to have
John,
a body
dude.
to bury. All I got they found of Adam's remains was his severed head. So turn yourself.
Now, think about that.
Kill yourself somewhere and spare this family.
John, chill, dude. But you know what? I don't feel right telling John to chill. I think he earned that right. We're talking about, think about that. Think about John Walsh as an example of what this does to a family. John Walsh is an example of what this does to a family. He lost his son over 40 years ago. Over 40 years ago, he lost his son. I'm not sure how many years exactly, but it's been over 40 years. And he lost his son, and he's still angry about it. He spent the last 40 years catching people who do this. So just think about that for a second. Think about that. If it's missing you some way of how this kind of thing, how losing someone in this manner affects a family, affects a father, a parent. If you're missing that somehow, look at John Walsh. Are you comfortable, Panda? Are you good? Okay. All right. And I gotta hear that one more time. I gotta hear him say this one more time.
Or at the gas station or wherever he might be. If you had a chance to say something to Brian Laundrie, what would you tell him?
I would say, turn yourself in. Do two things, Brian. Turn yourself in, but you won't. You're a coward. Now you're facing the death penalty. You brutalized this girl. You're a real big guy. You 90-pound woman. You brutalized her, broke everybody's heart.
if it's automatically, it doesn't matter the state. If it's a federal case, right? The FBI is looking for him, and it's a federal case. He's being federally indicted for the credit card thing. So I'm wondering if that's automatic death penalty, right? Like a state doesn't have to. You see what I'm saying? Some states are death penalty states. Some states aren't. But if it's federal, that's it. It's death penalty, right? I mean, he's stupid. Like John Walsh mentions it himself. Why didn't he just simply? And his lawyer's an idiot, dude. Like his lawyer is not doing the right thing at all. Why would your lawyer not encourage you? Why would your lawyer not encourage you to turn yourself in and make a deal so you can get out of the death penalty? At least get out of the death penalty. It's ridiculous.
So either turn yourself in before the cops shoot it out and kill you when they catch you, and spare this family the torture or kill yourself. Do the right thing, Brian. In your whole life, you've never done anything brave. You're just a coward.
I just
so
love how
go
blunt
out
he
there
is.
in the woods somewhere, but at least so we know where your body is, so the dirty laundry mom and dad can bury you somewhere. Because I know what it's like not to have a body to bury. All I got they found of Adam's remains was his severed head. So
Jesus.
Turn yourself.
And I remember
kill
seeing the
yourself
movie
somewhere
Adam when I was
and
a
spare
kid.
this family.
I remember seeing the movie Adam when I was a kid, and he was like, the guy playing him in the movie. It was like a TV movie, right? And the guy playing him in the movie answers the phone, and then he like starts trashing everything. I'll never forgot this because I watched this movie. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and he's throwing everything around, and he's screaming, "They found his head in a river. They found my son's head in a river." He's crying. Really, really powerful performance. And this is the real John Walsh, man, that went through this, man. Like, this is, I mean, he doesn't care about how it looks on TV that he's telling somebody to kill themselves. That blows my mind. It's like, if anybody gets away with doing that, it's John Walsh.
Family from a horrible trial. Ashley, you know how horrible the trials are. Parents sit in the courtroom and they show pictures of your children in the, partially decomposed.
I agree, Dee Marie, and thank
out
you.
in the desert. They're torture, and the families want to be there. So, Brian, the right thing for you to do is go somewhere and off yourself and save everybody a lot of trouble. And when they catch you, don't forget, buddy, you made a huge mistake. Wyoming's a death penalty state. I told your lawyer, bring him in. He won't have to face the death penalty. He can make a deal. This guy's giving the parents the bad advice the whole way through. Because when they catch him, he's either going to get killed by the cops when they take him because he's a coward. I say kill yourself now and save people lots of money. And you ought to take whatever assets the Laundrie family has, and whatever that lawyer has.
This dude is a thug.
He's aiding and abetting. He knows everything about this case. It's way past my lawyer private client privilege. And take his assets and put it back into the funds to look for that. He's not in that swamp, Ashley. Everybody in America knows that. He's not in that
Very
swamp.
frustrating to see all that work and all that money. But John, it's great the work you're doing, that you're getting all these tips, that you're getting all these viewers to check their devices and see if there's an image. And I can't tell you how much I've appreciated all you've done for this program this week. I'm going to give you a plug. John Walsh, he's on Wednesday nights. It's called In Pursuit on Investigation Discovery, but it also...
That's all for that. Yeah, man. So Don Walsh, he's not even trying to like he's just straight up just off yourself, dude. Like save the time and the money and the effort. Save everybody this, the resources. Just off yourself and do it wherever it's easy to find your body. So he goes so that the dirty laundries can give you a burial. Crazy. Oh man. Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Now see, I don't want that to happen. I want him to get caught. You know what I want to happen? Like I said before in the last live stream I did, I want Dog to catch him. I'm not even trying to lie. Because, dude, how's that going to look on him, dude? You know what I'm saying? How's that going to look on Brian Laundrie when Dog the bounty hunter and his can of mace catches this fool? Like, that's going to be great. That's going to be beautiful. Let me look at this real quick. Bro. So here's this picture right here. And I didn't even look into the story behind this picture, so I'm going to explore this with you guys. All right. Yeah, so this is some place in St. Augustine or something, or I don't know, somewhere in Florida. I don't know. But apparently what it says here. This is a New York Post article. It says the couple described the venue as a really nice campground, beautiful area with many hikes and easy walks to the beach, historic sites, really nice maintained sites. It's a nice picture of Gabby. Okay, Fort DeSoto historical fort. And hold on. So apparently Dog the Bounty Hunter got a tip that he could be at this area or went back to this area. So he's on the job, man. He's on the job. He's on the job. And I hope that finds him. I seriously do. I think, yeah. And last night, Josh was saying how important it is that we spread this information here, that we spread information on Brian. We share what he looks like, everything. Hold on, let me get rid of this troll. Okay, you guys are already on it. It's real important. So if you're not subscribed already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Get the algorithm going, get the word out there. But as far as he mentioned something last night, Josh did, when we're talking about real crime cases. When we're talking about real crime, a lot of times what we're doing with this case is not the way to go. Most of the time, it's not. If there's an ongoing investigation and these law enforcement agencies get flooded with tips, then it could muddy the waters. You know what I mean? And they're trying to get to the bottom of whatever happened. So, like, let's say Gabby is still missing, right? Let's say Gabby is still missing. If you remember, while she was missing, before she turned up deceased, while she was missing, there was already crazy, stupid rumors flying around. There was already people talking about the parents and the family and everything. So it's just inhumane to do that. We've seen this with the Summer Wells case. That's why I haven't been talking about the Summer Wells case, because I mean, there's nothing new as far as her location, as far as her whereabouts. I'm not interested in talking about the family. I'm not interested in talking about the dad or whatever he did in his past. I'm not defending what he did. What I'm saying is it doesn't seem to be relevant to locating Summer. So that's why I just don't talk about it. It's not helpful to that. So when there's a development in her case, then I will absolutely talk about it again. But in the meantime, when there's nothing to talk about except gossip within that family, I'm not interested in that. And it doesn't help, but in a case like this, we basically know what happened. We basically know what happened. The only thing we don't have is a cause of death, right? The only thing we don't have is a cause of death. We know that this guy was abusive. She turns up dead. He drives home by himself. He drives home by himself, and then him and his family go camping. And then they immediately lawyer up and refuse to cooperate with law enforcement. Refuse to cooperate when it comes to locating the woman who is potentially their daughter-in-law and lived in their house. It just doesn't make any sense. So if you're asking me if I think Brian Laundrie is guilty of her homicide, absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. I mean, anything's possible. You know what I mean? But I mean, everything points to this guy did this. Everything points to that. So I don't feel sorry for him in the slightest bit. I don't feel sorry for his family for not cooperating with the Schmitz and the Petitos. So I just don't. Oh, Amber Magic, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't feel in the slightest bit sorry for these people. The only people that I feel for right now are the Schmitz and the Petitos. That's it. So anybody that's going like, oh, well, it can't be easy for the Laundries because, you know, their son, they didn't their son put them in this position. They didn't. Yeah, I'm not talking about what happened. I'm talking about how it's being dealt with. I'm talking about the fact that these people are not showing any type of empathy for this family at all with their actions. Like, do you think, I mean, think about it. If I mean, how can anyone possibly think that the Laundries are helping their son by not cooperating with law enforcement? What's going to happen is the cops are going to shoot him and kill him. How are they protecting him? They're not protecting him. They could very well save his life by encouraging him to turn himself in and cooperating with law enforcement themselves. They can absolutely save their son's life. So how are they helping him? Because the only thing, what it looks like is they have something to hide, which I can't imagine what that would possibly be, but it's what it looks like. It makes them look just as bad as him. Yeah, I agree with you, Karen Collins. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 3 drove in and checked into the park, and 2 drove out while the 3rd went on foot. In my opinion, they set him up in hiding place. Sure, or just gave him a head start and said, "Okay, best of luck to you." Gave him a bunch of cash. I mean, I think so too. I think that they absolutely have absolutely facilitated in Brian's fugitive status. I mean, this lawyer, man, what's this guy doing? You know what I mean? What's up, Jameson, the defense attorney? No, of course he's not in that campground still. You keep moving is what you do. Dog was right. You move at night and you sleep during the day. You find a spot to hide, like in a tree or something like that. That's what Colton did. Remember Colton Harris Moore? Colton Harris Moore straight up like hid in the trees. He just kept moving, but he stayed in generally the same vicinity for the most part. And then he ended up going, I think, to Indiana or something, stealing a plane and then flying it to the Bahamas. Let's see. What's Jameson, the defense attorney, saying in here? Hold on. The attorney is really hurting his client. He needs to start playing bully ball. And he would be. Okay. Yeah. I wish Colton would call me, man, or text me. or email me, because I'd really like to get his insight on this. But the thing is, you got to remember also, Colton does not even like to think about that period in his life. The guy that you saw on my channel is not the guy that did the things that I'm talking about. He's left that far behind. He's paid his dues. He's paid his debt to society, and he's reimbursed his victims for the most part. He says he's almost there, but all he's trying to do is do that right now. But that's the only thing that he's focused on: self-improvement and making his wrongs right. Interesting. Christy Myers, Colton is Colton Harris Moore. Google it. I'm not saying that to be rude, but I'm saying that because you'll get plenty of information on him if you Google him. A lot of it's misinformation. You know, what you can do is go back to my earlier videos and watch those, and you'll get the real story from him, because he debunks a lot of the things that were in the news, which is really, really fascinating. What's up, Emerson Blue? It's really, really fascinating. Like, even me. I mean, I every time this guy stole 5 airplanes, right? Colton Harris Moore stole 5 airplanes, and he crash landed all of them. And I was like, well, this dude, like, well, why can't he land a plane? Right? This guy taught himself how to fly a plane, but why can't he land a plane? And he's like, I can land a plane. It's easy to land a plane. I can land a plane. He's like, you got to think, I'm not going to go and just, I'm a fugitive from justice. I'm not going to go and land in an airstrip. You know, like, that stuff's accounted for. There are logs for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it made perfect sense to me. He's like, oh, okay. So yeah, he's going to find some field somewhere and he's going to crash land the plane, because he can't land in a landing strip. I have not heard about Ryan Upchurch. I don't know who Ryan Upchurch is, but I will definitely look into it. Thank you. I don't know. I mean, if law enforcement is saying that they're not connected, then I'm going to just say that they're not connected. Yeah, I think it's at like 125 G's now. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for this Laundrie family at all. I think, yeah, like, and it's amazing because people are behaving in a very, very classy way. People are it's 170,000. Okay, wow. Okay. People are behaving in an extremely classy manner right now, because I mean, people are camped out in front of their house. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's throwing tomatoes at their house. Nobody's throwing eggs at their house. Nobody's TPing their trees. Nobody's doing anything bad. They're just basically, and you saw that one thing. Somebody who had nothing to do with the family whatsoever gets pictures of Gabby and posts them on the lawn saying, I lived here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes this so bad for them. I mean, and they're not helping their son. They're not. They're putting him in a position where he's going to get killed. I mean, yeah, that would be great, but I wouldn't expect him to do that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't expect him to do that. Uh I feel like that would be a super classy thing to do for sure. But I also think, I mean, he's a bounty hunter. You know what I mean? Like if he finds the dude, then he deserves the reward, you know? Don't care if he's already got money or not. Flower deliveries. Why are people sending them flowers? Like, seriously, dude. Like, I get it. Listen, I get it. Some people are like, well, you know, the Christian thing to do is to be kind to them anyway. I get all that. I get all that. You know, but I also feel like you're almost encouraging their behavior by showing them any type of support. You suck. You know what I mean? If you're one of these people, because I get the whole everybody deserves compassion, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get all that. Okay, but what you're doing by showing these people any type of support whatsoever, by showing the dirty laundries any type of support, it comes off as though you are supporting their actions. Okay, and this family, the Schmidts and the Petitos, deserve justice for their daughter. They just do. And any encouragement of them doing anything other than cooperating with law enforcement and bringing him in safely, well, then that's. Oh, okay. See, I love that. I love that. But there are people that are showing them support or speaking in support of them. And let me bring this up. Now, I haven't listened to her new channel yet, and I'm not even going to mention her name, but you know, everybody was all singing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, right? And I told you she will be back. I told you all she would be back. And her success, now, mind you, I clicked on it yesterday. Mama Bear, thank you very much. Ryan Upchurch is one of the biggest country rap stars in Tennessee. And country rap, what's that? And he's putting a serious cash to find the dirtbag. Okay, well, cool, man. That's awesome. Sweet. Yeah, y'all, like, I mean, that's the thing, is everybody's like, oh my God, you know, she's canceled. How could she? She started another channel. What did you think she was going to do? What do you think she was going to do? Right? But here's the thing, I'm watching something happen, and it's very, very, very fascinating to me, because I honestly don't care if she does well or not. But all you people that hate her so much and want her canceled, well, all you have to do is not click on her video. That's it. It's super easy. Pretend she's not there. Pretend she's still canceled. Treat her as though she's still canceled. Because every time, now she's past 1,000 subscribers, and she had like tens of thousands of views on her last video, right? So what do you think that is? You got just over 1,000 subs and tens of thousands of views on that video. What that is that's hate views. That's hate views that just made her eligible for monetization. If you don't know what that means, now you basically put money in her pocket. You're growing her channel. All of you haters are growing her channel. So I don't want to hear you complain about her. I don't want to hear it. Don't complain about her in my chat. Don't. I mean, and she's counting on it. She's counting on it. That's the funniest thing. and y'all are just feeding right into it. So, I mean, don't sit here and cry about how she needs to be canceled and you're putting money in her pocket. I haven't even mentioned her name, Christy Myers. I'm talking to the people who already know who I'm talking about. Okay? I get what you're saying, but I'm talking about the people who already know who I'm talking about. I'm talking to them. So, I mean, yeah, like, and this is someone who simply, like, I don't know, Jasmine. I don't know, but I think she made a post saying that she was going to do a video on this on Gabby Petito's case soon. Yeah, no, I went over that. I went over that on this channel. I went over it here. I showed all those. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's, and everybody hates it so much. She did this with the Watts case, and everybody fed right into it. Put her at like 80,000 subs. You know what I mean? Like, and then y'all want to complain and be like, cancel her, get her off YouTube. Well, you're doing the opposite. I don't know. It's just funny to me, man. It's funny to me. She's winning. She's winning. And I'm not in the least bit surprised. I'm not even in the least bit surprised. Like, I'm just saying, y'all shouldn't be surprised either. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying people clearly are. If you only have 1,000 subs and your video is actually, let me look. And I don't even have to click on the video. All that's showing now is just a bunch of hate videos on her. That's that's all I'm seeing right now. Yeah. All I'm seeing is just a bunch of hate videos on her. I can't even find her channel now. Maybe she got canceled again. Maybe YouTube got onto her and was like, no, nice try. But I'm not seeing her channel at all. I see Labia Boy's channel, but yeah, I can't find it. Oh, really? Louisiana girl? It's just funny to me. She's like a cockroach. Let me go ahead and play this audio.
J is for justice.
Yeah, this is courtesy of J is for Justice.
They both. Phone number is.
Name's I'm not sure that, but the female who got hit, they both, the male and the female, both got into the van and headed north. Continuing attempt to locate, time lapse of about probably 40 seconds. RP states a male hit a female domestic. He got into a white Ford Transit van.
Now this is the audio, people. This is the audio of the dispatcher speaking with the Moab police officers that responded to the call of the body cam footage that we saw.
Has a black ladder on the back, Florida. The van turned right onto Main Street from Moonflower Market and headed north onto Main Street, 1638.
Okay, so that is the dispatcher telling the Moab police that there was a witness that saw Brian hit Gabby. So why didn't the police acknowledge this? Why didn't the police bring this up? Because if they had actually done their jobs properly, and these are the only ones that I'm saying, I you know, I'm not, but it's hard not to think that they should have arrested him and didn't, and now Gabby's dead. That bothers me. Yeah, you're right. It's not black and white. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't like bad talking law enforcement. I don't like doing that. Is that true? Where did you hear that? Interesting. So you're not the first person to hear that. Okay, so wow. See, I love interacting with my chat, dude. You guys are my strength. You're my rock. That's what you are. Yeah, they put him up in a hotel, dude. How's that look? You know what I'm saying? How's that look? A lot of people are saying the cop's on leave now. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Don't yell at me and tell me to Google stuff, Christy. I'm just kidding. Oh, you heard it from Mike King? If you heard it from Mike King, I believe it. I absolutely do. Love that dude. Yeah. So I guess I'm not wrong, man. I guess I'm not wrong about the officers. They messed up. But it could just be politics too. It could just be that there's so much public scrutiny on them now that they have to do something about it. I mean, there's so much pressure on law enforcement right now. There's so much pressure on law enforcement right now. It's crazy. People are talking about defund the police, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and then people are saying, well, put more money into the police. I agree with that. And somebody was saying maybe have officers trained in psychology, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I see that, but I feel like more like, I mean, if they have a DWI specialist that comes out, because I've had that happen where I got pulled over for not turning on my lights, and then the officer that pulled me over was like, well, I think you've had more than 2 beers, because I stupid and said I only had 2 beers. And he was like, I smell beer on you, and I feel like you've had more than 2 beers. So I'm going to have a DWI specialist come out here and give you a roadside sobriety test. And so I was like, okay, I mean, what else was I going to do? Run? and I beat it. Incredibly enough, I beat it incredibly enough. So why not? At least in major cities, why not have some sort of mental health professional or DV specialist come out and assess a situation and talk to the potential victims or perpetrators? Doesn't actually necessarily have to be. Just have that be a position in law enforcement. If you have a DWI specialist, have a DV specialist on call. I sure did, Cherry. Have a DV specialist that comes out. I mean, can you imagine how many DV calls that they get? You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, and I'm sorry that you've been in an abusive relationship. Many of us have. And I feel for you on that, but I don't agree with you. And unfortunately, don't take this the wrong way, but being a victim in an abusive relationship does not make you an expert on what the police can do and what they can't do. So, all due respect, that's just the truth. So, do I think, I still believe that if they had even placed her under arrest, that may have saved her life. Yeah, sorry, but I don't think anybody can rationally disagree with me on that. Maybe in England, but I've never heard of that. But there should be, and maybe a lot of places here have it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. The police officers should be walking GI Joes. Community policing is the way. Yeah. They shouldn't be walking GI Joes, right? I mean, it says right there on their car to protect and serve. No, I don't mean serve. I remember hearing the stand-up comedian years and years and years ago saying, man, it really peeves me when I see a cop just standing there, like, we're paying for this, like, grab a broom. Which, that's obviously a joke, but I don't, so I don't agree that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think her life could have been saved. I'm sorry. I just feel that way. I think that those Moab cops probably dropped the ball. I mean, was the final word up to the chief of police? Did he tell those officers to let them go and separate them for the night? The cop was speaking with him on his phone. I don't know if that's who he was talking to on his phone. I don't know if that was the case. No idea. But, or do I remember? I mean, I'm trying to remember if he said that, if he told Brian that when he was talking to him, that he was talking to, I don't know if he just said it was his superior or what. But the bottom line is they're responsible. Like, think about it. In a restaurant, right? You got a restaurant. well, not you, but you're in a restaurant. You complain, right? And you complain to the owner, right? And a waiter, if a waiter does something wrong and word gets to the owner, who do you think the owner addresses and talks to and holds accountable? The manager. Because the manager is in charge of training that waiter. The manager is in charge of managing that waiter. So the owner's going to hold the manager accountable. So regardless if the chief of police is in charge of these officers and these officers didn't do their job correctly, well, then the chief of police is going to be one that's going to be held accountable. Now, obviously, they're going to be held accountable as well, but it doesn't stop there. Somebody else has to be accountable because they're in charge of their training and how they execute certain calls. Oh, they were not put on administrative leave yet. Okay. Wow. Look, nobody's blaming the cops for what happened. Nobody's saying that. What we're saying is it could have probably been prevented had they done things differently. That's all I'm saying. It could have probably been prevented. So no, I mean, nobody's blaming them for Brian's actions. Nobody's saying that. Well, Teresa Short's saying it, but I don't agree with her. I think so too, Angela Dawn. I think the police did what they thought was best at the time. I think the wrong call was made, but that's because we know so much more than they did then. I think there's some unintended bias. I have to agree with you there, because remember, those officers had no idea this was going to happen. Those officers had no idea that this was going to be the case that it is now. And I think what they thought they were doing was going by the book. But they didn't even look into possibly, the thing is they absolutely missed the mark that looked like somebody grabbed her arm. There was redness. It was obvious. There was redness on this part of her arm, and they obviously missed that, and it was right there. You know what I mean? And they only focused on the marks on Brian, and they didn't even take into consideration that they could be, or they didn't seem to even take into consideration that those could have been defense wounds. You know? Yeah, that does happen too. Yeah. And that should have probably happened. You know, if I'm being honest, that could have saved her life. And it's a Mormon state too, guys. Utah's a totally Mormon state. So I wonder if that played into them seeing her as the aggressor, because Utah's just full of just, you know, old-fashioned white men, you know, who think of women as secondary. I do believe they should be ordered to take a domestic violence course. Domestic violence does not just affect. Yeah, I mean, right. That's what I'm saying. At least that. But they should have an officer that is simply their job is to just simply assess a DV situation. An expert, someone trained in that area, and that is their sole job, is to answer calls, DV calls, and to answer DV calls and assess a possible DV situation, and make the right call as to who's going to get arrested, who needs to go to a shelter, what have you. Well, I don't know, man. I'm not ready to, and if one thing that you don't do, because even if they actually didn't feel that way, NorCal girl, even if the Schmitz and the Petitos didn't actually say that they trust the FBI, right? Even if they hadn't said that, I mean, or didn't mean it, right? Even if they didn't mean it, we have to understand that what you don't want to do is make them mad and bad talk them. That the people that are in charge of finding the person who murdered your loved one and finding the person who murdered your loved one, you don't want to make the people charged with the responsibility to bring him to justice. You don't want that. You don't want them on your bad side. Yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, fine. That's what I'm saying. Get a whole unit, a DV unit that handles those calls, right? That's their job. The only calls that they answer to are DV calls. That's, you know what I mean? Get as many as you need to. That's what I say. Oh, really? Sorry, dude. I thought you were smart until just like right now. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. Everybody's political opinions are respected here. Don't worry about that. I'm just messing with you. Well, because I'm not saying to defund the police. I'm not saying that. I'm saying put more money into it. Interesting, Todd Kimberly. I'm saying put money into it. I'm not saying defund the police. I'm definitely not a defund the police guy. Let's see, the FBI knows a lot more than we do, and I suspect with how classy this family has been, they would say it if they were upset. They do not sound like the type to sit quietly if upset. I agree with you. I know Joe's not going to do that. Does Joe even remotely give you the impression that he's the kind of guy that would not speak up? Some speedies used to have specialized psychiatric units that were made up of social work and the police. However, they all have been defunded pretty much. So sad. No, I know you're not saying that. You're saying that they dropped the ball though, because Brian got away. They weren't watching him but see, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the procedure for that is. I don't know what the resources called for at the time. At the time, she was reported missing by their family and had no answers. They just saw the boyfriend come back. That was it. They saw the boyfriend come back without her, and then they hadn't heard from her. So they, oh, what's up, Mr. Zod's Fandom Zone? Cheers, brother. Everybody subscribe to Mr. Zod's channel. If you're anti-cancel culture and if you believe that Amber Heard is the most beautiful woman on the planet and the sweetest and kindest, most gentle soul there ever was, make sure that you subscribe to Mr. Zod's Fandom Zone, okay? No, I'm just kidding. It's the Johnny Depp community. They're pro Johnny Depp, boo Amber, justice for Johnny Depp, sort of thing. So they get into that. So make sure to subscribe to Mr. Zod's Fandom Zone because his channel is great. That's what I'm saying, Irish Eyes. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they could have stopped him. I mean, what are they going to do? You know, they're saying, we'll keep eyes on him. Well, I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have any, they didn't really, I don't know if they actually had probable cause. I don't know how the law works necessarily. So I don't even know if they actually had probable cause to survey, to put surveillance on him. Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they didn't have probable cause, you know, technically speaking, to tail him. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what justifies that, you know? I mean, I agree with you because I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. I feel that way. We would be in a very different position where we are right now than where we are right now if they had kept tabs on him. But they didn't, you know? And I have to wonder if they just simply did not have probable cause to do it. Yeah, that too. Yeah. But okay, all right. Well, why didn't a reporter follow him? Why didn't a reporter keep tabs on him? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't think it's fair to blame anybody. You know, I know it's not, and one might argue, well, that's not their job to do that. How is it not their job to do that? Right? It's absolutely their job to do that. That's called journalism. He's the story, right? So why didn't the media do that? And it was before it broke big, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's right. They can't. They, you know what I mean? They got to have probable cause, man. Right. They do totally do it to celebs. Right. I mean, not necessarily. You don't know how the law works. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily, Jason. Maybe you're right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying we don't really know, you know? I mean, they follow whatever their superiors, whoever's like in charge. And at the time, I mean, they didn't know anything on any of the things that we know. Well, I'm sure they are now. Sure. You know what I mean? But he's not running, you know? At least I don't think so. Did he run? I don't know. That's all. That's the only point I'm trying to make. That's the only point I'm trying to make right there. I agree with you. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Or he's going to use. So Rowan Owens is saying his defense will be she left on her own accord. I went home. Something happened to her. I'll put money on it. Okay. All right, Mr. Zod. Have a good night. And thanks again for the super chat, buddy. And yeah, you're saying his defense will be she left on her own corner. I went home. Something happened to her. Well, that's one. That's one thing. But I also am going to entertain the possibility that they're going to use that body cam footage, and for a self defense, because if they did a full autopsy on her, and he did actually do it, they'll probably have him because he didn't hardly do anything to try to even cover up the body. You know what I mean? So I mean, chances are he left something on her body that will match him. They're gonna connect her to him. I guarantee you, they're gonna connect her homicide to him if it can be done. So he's probably going to try to use, if they have that kind of evidence, his lawyer has a right to know what they have. And so what they're going to end up doing is sorry, I'm reading chat too. Yeah, what they're going to probably end up doing is using the police body cam footage and say that it was self-defense, which is gross. Just the thought of that is gross. Yeah, like he totally had like the worst. This guy has the worst sense of entitlement. That's what makes me hate this guy the most. Just his personality, besides the fact that he's a woman beater. I don't like that he's just part of the reason he's a woman beater is because he's an entitled little prick that his parents have raised to be this way. And it's clear in their actions that that's how they raised him. I think I don't think it matters because it's a federal case. It's a federal case now. But since they like the credit card thing, that arrest warrant was filed in Wyoming, so they'll probably stick to Wyoming. Yeah, totally. I don't have patience for people like that, man. I just don't. Totally. He is. He's a total Karen, dude. Like he got in a fight with the hostess of the restaurant. Like, why weren't Karen hunters filming it with their phones, man? That's what I want to know. I don't know. He might. Oh, Stephanie G. You're embarrassing me. Stop it. But thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know about all that. Let's see. Wendy. I think Dad did. I think his mom is abused. I mean, there's nothing I mean, that's over speculation right there. We don't have any idea what that home situation is like, the dynamic between his mother and his father. We don't have any clue. That's a stretch. You know what I mean? But I think it's fair to say that you can look at results. You know what I'm saying? You see how this kid turned out and you can see how they're behaving. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, I mean, they're both, as far as I'm concerned, they're both adults. They're seniors, you know, like they're absolutely and totally accountable for their actions. And they're absolutely accountable for how they're dealing with Brian not turning himself in. Yeah, that's possible, and likely. Honestly, I feel like they definitely, that the fraud charge is definitely something that they can hold him on, uh, while they investigate and while they collect evidence to build a case against him. John Walsh, I believe, has said that he believes that that's what happened. And that's what I'm going with. I'm going with either strangulation or blunt force trauma. Sorry about that, crime story. I mean, they're parents of an adult. That's what I mean by senior. Are they senior citizens? No. But I mean, they're parents of an adult. They're absolutely accountable for this dude's behavior in some part. I'm not saying that they're accountable for what he did to Gabby. What I'm saying is they're accountable for how they're dealing with him currently. I mean, why? Why do you think that? I don't know Karen Collins, if that's true. Yeah, I'm thinking that too, Rowan. Right. I mean, it's obviously a moral issue, like you're stating here, Jason Guinier, but it's also something else, though, that I mentioned earlier. Like, if they think that they're helping him, they're not, because he's more likely to turn up dead. He's more likely to off himself in some way, to unalive himself, as Josh would put it. He's more likely to do that, or he's likely to be taken down and shot by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Or any jackhole running around with a gun that spots him. You know what I mean? Like, they're facilitating him being in direct physical harm. So if they think they're helping him, they're doing the opposite. If my kid were in that position, I'd be cooperating with law enforcement and being like, bring him in safely, please. Bring him in safely, because you're not going to get away from the charge, and you're not going to get away from the evidence that they're going to find against you. There's just no way. I would just tell my kid to suck it up and deal. It's just it. That's what I would do. I mean, I would want to do whatever I can to help him, but how is putting him in physical harm from the police or otherwise helping him? I would struggle with, my bad father because I'm turning my son in. Am I snitching on my own kid? Yeah, I'd struggle with that. For sure, I would struggle with that. But it wouldn't take long before I came to the conclusion that the right thing to do, for all of the reasons that I just stated, it wouldn't take me long. for me to come to this conclusion that the right thing to do for many different reasons is to turn him in. Yeah, this panda girl. Sorry to hear that, Sherry Thomas. I don't think my mom would either, really. I mean, but my mom is pretty smart. She would probably come to the same conclusion I came to faster, is my point. Not that my mom would just be like, get him, you know? Huh. Todd Kimberly's living that RV life, bruh. I wonder if this case has boosted Beatles sales because of that song. That very, very played out song. Sorry, I'm like that. I know NorCal girls like, what? What? Calm down, relax. I'm just like that when it comes to music. Yeah, it really sucks, Ames. It really, really sucks. It's just Jolene, Panda. Calm down, bro. No, Panda's like super skittish, man. She barks whenever the door closes or opens or somebody sneezes. And Leo has Tourette's. He'll just out of nowhere just be like, oh, and then like, what are you doing, dude? That's messed up. That is messed up. I bet he learned his lesson though. Yeah, Jinx, that's the reason the dogs have been sleeping out here with me lately, and that's why you haven't seen Jinx, because Jinx just stays in his little corner because these dogs be messing with Jinx too much. So we probably won't see Jinx for a little while. Of course. Of course. I'm absolutely gonna do that. Um well, cats are just a lot less maintenance, man. Like I gotta walk these dudes like, like 4 times a day, like it's crazy. That's funny. Somebody in my house is drunk and listening to Tenacious D with headphones and singing along to it. So all I can hear is that singing, which is pretty funny. Yeah, guys. So I think that's going to be it. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for all your support. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already, so we can get the word out on Brian Doucheface Dirty Laundrie. So yeah, I love you guys very much. Thanks for all your support, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.